All right, we're looking at ionic versus covalent compounds. The first step in nomenclature, our naming system for chemicals, is determining if a compound is ionic or covalent because they have different systems for naming. So if you can't identify a compound as being an ionic compound or a covalent compound, it is impossible to name it correctly. So if we look at our practice today, we have to identify these things as ionic or covalent, and we are given formulas. We're also given some characteristics. So let's start with our first one, H2O. If we look at our notes, we see that ionic compounds are composed of a metal and a nonmetal, or nonmetals. We see all the metals here in the periodic table in red, are nonmetals in blue. And we see the metalloids in yellow, but if you look at the zigzag line that separates those, anything to the left is a metal, except of course for hydrogen. Anything to the right we'll consider a nonmetal. So when I look at H2O, I have hydrogen and oxygen. Both of those are nonmetals. Nonmetals bound together are covalent compounds, so that is covalent. If I look at sodium chloride, I have sodium over here and chlorine over here. We have a metal and a nonmetal, which makes this ionic. Low melting point. Reference your notes. You have to memorize these, but there's not a lot. Compounds that have a low melting point are covalent compounds. In lab, we'll have the opportunity to see this demonstrated. CO, number 4, carbon monoxide. Carbon, nonmetal. Oxygen, again, a nonmetal. So it's covalent. Number 5, K2S, or potassium sulfide. Potassium is a metal. Sulfur is a nonmetal, so that is ionic. So again, ionic compounds are composed of a metal and a nonmetal. Covalent compounds are composed of 2 or more nonmetals.